What up, everybody? Today, we're going all the way back to 2001. I'm Pyro Slaves Music, and today, we're checking out Identity Crisis by Thrice. I said every couple months, 3 or 4 months, I'm going to be checking out a new Thrice album, and it's that time again. I really liked what we've ran into so far. Obviously, the demo, was it a demo? Or was it their first album? Ooh, I'm drawing a blank this early in the video. Not good. Not good. The previous album we checked out, they were still, they're kids, and it was messy, but it was a fun ride, for sure. I'm excited to see what they've done since then. I think it was 99, the last one we checked out. You guys can, of course, correct me in the comments, as always. Identity Crisis, let's get it. Let's jump right in. I'm excited. 35 minutes, 46 seconds. Also, only 11 songs. I want to say right away, before I forget, TNC. I want to say that was on the I'm gonna look this up while we start Identity Crisis. So forgive me. I know I don't like getting on my phone or anything while I'm in a reaction. However, I'm working with a laptop inside the house today instead of being in my shop with my desktop and all that good stuff. And while the wife is at work and the kids are at school, I'm trying to get some stuff done here and see if this works, this setup at least. So going from window to window on my laptop is not easy while trying to pay attention to music. So I'm just going to utilize my phone while I look that up. So forgive me. Appreciate you guys as always. If you're new here, make sure you hit that sub, hit that likey, and of course support the artist. Let's get it. All right, first track down. That was rather nice for sure. And real quick, the EP, First Impressions by Thrice, is the one we checked out previously, and that was 99. Now, what I didn't look up, I couldn't just click on it, unfortunately, to see if that final track on this album, TNC, I'm going to say it was. I'm going to say TNC was on that. We're going to go blind with that. You guys can correct me in the comments, of course. That guitar riff was gnarly. Vocals were sick, honestly. Like, really, like, right up the alley, what I love. And it's kind of, obviously, lyrically well-written. And talking about his faith, I believe they were considered a Christian band at this point. I'm not sure if they're still considered like a Christian rock band. I know I think a lot of people just kind of dropped the I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you can be religious without having to put yourself in a genre of music. So I don't think they exactly qualify themselves as that. I'm not sure. Again, you guys, comments. What I will say, actually, no, I mean, I liked, what it reminds me of, I grew up in a rather rural area, heavily Christian upbringing. We used to want to get more into metal, but obviously there's a lot of satanic imagery when it comes to metal. I like the shock factor, right? So that was, that wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? And we listened to Yes FM, I think it was called, a lot. And there were some bands that popped on there that were heavier, and I would always be like, ooh. I remember one specifically called East West, and this is probably going to be hilarious because they're probably not even heavy. I don't even know. This is, we're talking when I'm like 11 years old, you know what I mean? But yeah, there was a band called East West, and I remember they scared the hell out of me. It was awesome. It was great. It was great. Let's keep this going. I like that one. That's going to go in a playlist. Phoenix Ignition.
Like a phoenix ignition, like a crematorium, like a swelling volition from the barrel of a gun, from the ashes and the embers, like a rocket I'll ascend, like a cry gone up for a fallen friend, like a cry gone up for a fallen.
this right here, this part right here. When that riff kicks in, that guitar riff, it really reminds me of Suicidal Tendencies. I'm getting a huge Suicidal Tendencies vibe right there specifically. I'm not saying the whole song, obviously. Definitely has some nice little that punk influence with the drums for sure, and heavily in areas there. You're getting some of the like grooviness of hardcore, if you will. There's some creative stuff going on here for sure. The lyrics. Let me just put it this way: I want to punch a hole in the wall. It's only 9:00 a.m. Like that's you're cooking. It's a heater. It's a heater. Like a phoenix ignition, like a crematorium, like a swelling volition from the barrel of a gun, from the ashes and the embers, like a rocket I'll ascend, like a cry gone up for the fallen friend, like a cry gone up for a fallen, like a phoenix ignition, like a crematorium, like a swelling volition from a barrel of a gun, from the ashes and the embers, like a rocket I'll ascend, like a cry gone up for a fallen friend, I'll ascend. Hell yeah. Every day tear down these walls till cornerstones remain, coming one step closer all the time. And although we'll never reach perfection, always persist to try. No regrets, just rebirth. Move forward and ignite. Incandescent reinvention, a new renaissance, a new fire each day. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. I like that a lot. Just the overall sound itself, it's right where I want it, to be honest with you. Zero complaints. For 2 songs in, those are both in the playlist. Those are both in heavy rotation, I can tell you right meow. Right meow. In your hands, let's keep this show moving. Okay, so I think we have another kind of growing pain spurt here. This sounds pretty like, it sounds like generic pop punk, especially for the time. I'm getting kind of some Simple Plan vibes, especially vocally, which is interesting. Not that I hate it. Honestly, I've got kind of a soft spot for pop punk in general. I know a lot of people hate Simple Plan, for example, and growing up with them, maybe it's left a soft spot for me. So I don't necessarily hate this, but I don't think that one will make it in a playlist, especially compared to those first two. Holy hell! Let's keep it going though. To what end? That's another one I enjoy. Honestly, yeah, that's solid. Kind of has a little more of that kind of a hardcore punk vibe going on, and then instrumentally was where it was at. Honestly, I kind of liked all the little change ups and stuff that was going on in this one. I love the. There's one thing that Christian, like especially like hardcore metalcore, did get that I like really enjoy. A lot of people dog on it. A lot of people dog on that style of music, and I understand where they're coming from when they are dogging on it. However, I think something that they really did get right was the people that were able to instill hope in such a fiery message. And a lot of times, a lot of the bands that did do that, they weren't even really they didn't have like over heavy-handed Christian themes. How about that? Where it felt like too preachy or something. But I really love those where, especially as an angry young man, still angry. Those themes of hope and stuff just kind of keep you a little positive. Like, yeah, you got some anger in you, but it kind of, I don't know. That's what I'm getting from these so far. And this one's going to go on a playlist. I enjoyed this one. It's kind of funny because this one actually is it doesn't have a whole lot of plays, honestly, comparatively to some of these. And apologies if my microphone or anything is messing up here. Again, this is a non-permanent setup as I'm inside, just trying to make things work with this, especially with this mic, compared to what we typically are rocking. Yeah, not sure. My levels are all over the place on Streamlabs, so we'll see what you guys say in the comments. Ultra Blue, let's keep it going. Again, to what end is going to go on a playlist. Okay, so here, first of all, let me just say the overall sound I really, really enjoy. And this one is a little bit more outstanding on their faith here. Unabashedly pursue the truth we cannot deny. A revolution shining through. Orchestration, Idenity. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. A revolution, Ultra Blue. The melodic battle cry. And though you say there'll be no coup, we'll never know unless we try to see one through. Oh God, we can try to see it through. And by the way it swings in that chorus, really love that. And find a different point of view. Look for a different point of view. One where faith is not taboo, and we'll all learn to see the world as new. Sometimes a belief held true is proved to be an outright lie, but it seems we always knew. In some unspoken lullaby, I'll see you at the rendezvous. Oh, wait, no. Hold on here. It is? Oh, it is rendezvous. Oh, my God. I just can't read this morning. We'll raise our voices to the sky, and though it's said there'll be no coup, we'll never know unless we try to see it through. And then it kind of just repeats itself a little bit on the outro there. So I feel like this is something that I think I would have enjoyed as a younger adult, especially one that was religious. And, you have a lot of people around you that'll tell you that, faith is hated or that religion's hated. And then I went out in the real world, and I have friends who are Buddhists. I have friends who are atheists. I have friends who believe in God but don't believe in the scriptures. There's so many different flavors of faith out there. And, it feels a little bit like an attack when you're very sensitive about your faith, instead of just looking at it and realizing it's faith. There's nothing inherently wrong with faith either. I think the problem is a lot of times we see what I would just call enemies to faith, and they utilize your faith and they harness it as a weapon and they use it against people. And other people see through that shit. And it leads them to feel a sort of type of way about the faith because they can't get through the people that have that faith. And you could go against, you could say, Christians pushing their views on LGBTQ as a prime example, right? We can all get along in this world. We can all have different faiths and different beliefs at the end of the day. We can still love each other. And, it's not really a hard concept, but it's something that fooled me as a younger religious person, for sure, where you're like, oh, everybody's against me. And realistically, it's not really combative like that. Most of the faiths out there have scriptures, and all of them believe very firmly in those. And a lot of people that do look outside that, you see a lot of similarities here and there. But I think the problem is a lot of times faith being weaponized against the people. For example, you have the one I'm going to speak on the most is Christianity, just because that's the one I know more. And while I've studied a lot of different religions, still it's not something I grew up with. So maybe my understanding isn't fully there, right? But you'll see a Christian fully support a capitalistic system that leaves poor people at the bottom with nothing, where the Bible Jesus clearly preached that was not that's not how that's supposed to go. You know what I mean? And I'm no socialist by any means, but I would say, just looking at some of Jesus's beliefs, I think he didn't really give a damn about money or your livelihood. You know what I mean? And so people see through that and see you're kind of being a hypocrite, and makes them angry, especially when you're pushing stuff on other people while doing that. So very understandable. But yet I still love the sound of this track for sure. And again, I just think if we can all just find a way to get along, call out the pieces of shit that are weaponizing your faith, and be outspoken on that, I think that's like a huge step in keeping the trust of the public or even your community from looking negatively or looking at your faith through a negative light. Let's put it that way. Let's move on to, actually, this is going to be the middle track. Oh, no. I don't know. It's an 11-track album, so I'm not sure where I'm going to exactly call the middle. It's either this one or As the Ruin Falls. Let's hit As the Ruin Falls.
Only now that you have taught me
I wanted those rain sounds to come in a little quicker. I like that. I love that addition. I don't like it. I love it. I love the rainy, broody end. I almost want that to be a little longer. I'm not going to add another 10 seconds of broody storming in there. I like that shit a lot. Again, this instrumentally really piqued my interest for sure. Lyrically, there's not a whole lot going on here. And vocally, I don't know if this song shines either. But there's a lot of guitar licks in this that are really nice. Now, I'm going to let you guys know right now that I keep getting an alert that says my camera's on. That keeps popping up on my windows. So if there's any issue with the camera that you guys spot, let me know. Because that is frustrating. That is going to frustrate the hell out of your boy. Woo! Let's move on to the next one. The Next Day. All right, this one's a quick one. 3 years ago when I was just getting into like punk rock and stuff, this is exactly the kind of thing I would have complained for. And I would have been like, if they would have included this at the end of As the Ruin Falls, I would have been like, why wouldn't you just make this a separate song? And now that I'm a couple years in to punk rock and I'm hearing stuff like this, I'm like, honestly, I kind of think they should have left this part attached to As the Ruin Falls. It really would have gave it a little outro flavor, if you will. And it wouldn't have been a popular track, but it isn't now either. The plays on this one are... Okay, so the plays for The Next Day are obviously the lowest on there, but not by much. Maybe only by 100,000 comparatively to As the Ruin Falls. So, in my opinion, might as well just merge the two. Obviously, this is before the internet days, so... Shoulda, woulda, coulda. A torch to end all torches. Let's get into this next one. But obviously, I love myself a nice broody, rainy track. I'm still looking for a track, like a metal or a solid rock song that has like some rain sounds throughout. And it's like intertwined with the music in a weird way. I haven't found anything quite like that yet, though. And I just think it's something that hasn't been touched on at all. It'd be cool. I don't know why I'm a sucker for rain sounds. I'm a sucker for rain smells. Nothing better than a spring rainstorm. Maybe that's the rural coming out of me. You know what I mean? Or if you're my boy Chuck, what does he say? Rule, rule. A torch to end all torches.
I want to burn like
Okay. Let's get into this. All right. So first off, I do got to say they did add some of their signature twist, if you will, into this. It sounds like Thrice. However, the initial part here. I was just waiting for James Hetfield to come in over top of these and just, oh yeah. And then the guitar solo at the end screamed Iron Maiden to me. I couldn't tell you what song, but just, oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue. That's the worst part. It's the worst part. Love myself some Maiden. This one's just a little too close to a couple other bands for me. Again, you're starting to see some of their growth here, and I gotta say kudos there. And as a writer, I think it's something a lot of creatives do, and they don't honestly realize it, especially when they're in the beginning. Your influences are gonna bleed in. It happens. When I started writing, I started a novel, and everybody was like, "Yeah, it's from what you have here, it's okay, but it does remind me of several other books." And happenstance is a lot of those other books were my favorites. So, and a good creative looks at that, doesn't get discouraged, but finds a way to make that their own. And obviously, Thrice has a very long-lived career. They've done that. But this one right here, just I thought was funny because I'm hearing a little bit of Megadeth on the way maybe it's the drums and the guitar at the beginning, and then again Maiden there at the with that guitar solo towards the end. This one probably won't make it into a playlist, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll give it another listen after we're done reacting to the album and see what's up. Unquestioned Answers is the next. Okay. This one kind of blends in with the rest of the album for me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's still stuff I enjoyed from it. I don't dislike it. Again, maybe that's the nostalgia in me a little bit. That's kind of reminding me of some of this older school Christian rock or Christian metal I used to listen to. But yeah, I don't know if this is blowing me away here. Actually, as we get a little further in the album, it's starting to it started up here and is slowly working its way down. Not in a bad way, just more so that a lot of the sounds I'm hearing kind of sound similar. There are some really nice spots that I really enjoy in some of these songs, though. So definitely a step up from where we were with the EP, like in a huge step up as well. Under par. Let's go ahead and keep it going. We only have 2 more left, and I'm really curious to see what they do with TNC. I'm just reading through these lyrics here. First off, let me just say Spotify absolutely sucks. Not to go too far off the beaten path, but I can't wait till we get some kind of a platform that's actually decent artist and isn't a pile of crap, you know? Also, the lyrics from Music Match absolutely blow. Who wrote this? An 8-year-old kid? Horrible. They gotta work on their spelling. Said is spelled S-A-I. Your without the R's. Ah! Oh my goodness. First off, I actually really enjoyed the song, and this just gave me a youthful glimpse into my past, if you will. This is the kind of lyrics that I would have been about, all kinds of about, as a 15-year-old kid, for sure. Honestly, still feel this way about a lot of stuff. So, I think I'm going to put that in a playlist. Yeah. It did drag on just a smidge there towards the end. But that's okay. Let's go ahead and jump into this TNC track. This is on the EP. I'm almost 100% sure. Almost 100% sure. Let's get it. right. From what I recall, that is definitely a step up. I should just look this up right now. Otherwise, I'm gonna either forget or yeah. TNC Thrice First Impressions. So yeah, I like this track, and it's gonna go on a playlist first of all. Yes, okay. So the song, it was original. All right, cool. Yeah, so this is off of First Impressions. I wonder. Nah, I'm not gonna mess with the. I was gonna possibly pull up a comparison. Listen to the OG, but right now my computer's a little overwhelmed. Let's put it that way. Keeps telling me my camera's not on, but looking at Streamlabs, I'm looking pretty good. Yeah, okay, so this album as a whole, what I like about it, I like that both the vocals and the vocals and the drums really pulling up some skate punk type style sound, and I like that a lot. Lyrically, we got some kind of like fiery, rebellious stuff, but definitely heavily, inspired by their faith at the time. Again, I'm not sure exactly the whole Thrice situation in general. I just knew that when they started, they were considered a Christian rock band or metal band, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, you see that heavily laden in the lyrics here, and not in like an overbearing way by any means, but just talking about it. I find it a little ironic, and again, I think it's just part of youth, where you feel like your faith is hated, but realistically, it's not the faith that's hated; it's the hypocrisy, and I think that's important to remember, especially on the divisive topics when it comes to religion. At the end of the day, it is faith, and if your faith is in divisive hatred shit, people aren't going to like it. It doesn't matter what it is what it is. But honestly, again, I don't think it was super heavy-handed in the lyrics here at all. And I'm trying to think what else. Guitar-wise, I felt like that was a huge step up, but also maybe it was just I was enjoying it more. Felt a little more metal-ish, especially what I was used to. Sure, you were seeing some of the same stuff reutilized a little bit in this album. I'm glad they didn't go for more tracks on this. Maybe that's just I can't stand this shit nowadays where they're like I just listened last year. Who the hell was it? It was a rapper. Gunna dropped like a 25 song album. I was like, well, what is this shit? There's one good song on maybe. No, not even that. It was horrible. Stressed me out, and it feels like you waste a lot of time when you're really, especially me, because I have to finish what I started. Especially when it comes to an album, for some reason, I just can't, like, I've listened to, like, half of bad albums, like, this album sucks, and put it down, and then been like, well, I spent money on that. That's probably where it started, spending money, being a cheap ass, and then being like, no, I'm going to make myself listen to this entertainment that I bought. Gotta finish the album. Yeah, I still don't think this is fantastic. I'm not going to lie to you. Again, I'm seeing a little bit through nostalgic lenses, which I think is fine, especially in this case. I think it's a huge step up from First Impressions, so very cool to see that progression. Let's go ahead and just dive right into ratings here. Let's get into the ratings. Let's get into it. I'm thinking this is around a 5.7 for me. I think it's okay. I think it's much better than EP, for sure. And we're going in the right direction. There's aspects I love about this. Don't get me wrong. There's the first two tracks are guaranteed playlist bangers. After that, they're trying to keep it fresh. They're implementing a lot of different sounds and merging them together and trying some different stuff, and I respect that. But I don't think that as a whole that this album is great or good. Even I would say there's parts of goodness here, and it's a great, especially on a long journey like we're about to go through, to see that progression. I personally would rather start on a bad thing and slowly work my way up. So yeah, I think we're gonna go just a smidge under good. and not a bad album though by any means. Like I said, there's some really nice spots in there. Cool to see what they did with it. I'm Pyro Slays Music. Shout out to our community for bombarding requests about Thrice. We'll be getting through it. If I get burned out for some reason, I'll keep you guys updated. But it does happen really easily for me, an artist. I know a lot of you Thrice hardcores are like, oh, it's not going to happen with Thrice. You'd be shocked. It's happened to my favorite bands. So sometimes I just got to take a step away. But I think spacing out a couple months each album, I should be okay. We'll see. Again, shout out to our boy Ryan B. He's the real reason we're checking this out. He did a collective of like our first 2 years or 3 years of reactions and put them in a chart so you can see what our highest rated songs were and our lowest. I don't think he said he's not staying active on that now, which is absolutely fine. We're all busy as hell, and but I just wanted to show my appreciation. Told him to pick an artist, and this is what he picked. So shout out to you, Ryan. I'm Pyro Slays Music. If you enjoyed the reaction, do me a solid, hit that like, hit the sub, join if you enjoyed checking out just different styles of music, and especially if you're not genre phobic. I mean, I'm here jumping around. We check out a lot of punk rock, which is I like the speed and the intensity there, but I am well open-minded to other styles of music. And since you stayed for the whole video, you get to stay for a proud dad moment. I don't know if it's proud, but dude, look at all these Legos my kids put together back here. Look at this. They got all kinds of stuff, Legos for Christmas. It's like what they asked for, pretty much everything. Little cars. We got the whole thing set back here. A little house. My favorite is this little guy right here. The bamboo munching on the bamboo. The panda munching on the bamboo. Jesus, I can't talk. Anywho, I'm Pyro. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I appreciate you. And we'll see you sons of guns next time.